On January 19th, senators took a vote on a short-term spending bill to avoid a government shutdown. Obviously, we know that the bill collapsed, but between 10 p.m. and midnight, senators were still trying to come up with a bipartisan deal to keep the government open. One of the senators who tried to bridge differences during the negotiations was Lindsey Graham, Republican of South Carolina. Here he is at 10:07 p.m. chatting with Mitch McConnell, the Republican leader. Next to them are Republican Senators Jeff Flake of Arizona and John Cornyn of Texas. About a minute later, Graham leaves the group and joins Chris Coons, Democrat of Delaware, and Lisa Murkowski, Republican of Alaska. At 10 p.m., he stops Charles Schumer, the Democratic leader, and speaks to him for just over 10 seconds. Then he returns to talk to Coons, Murkowski, and Cory Gardner of Colorado. Meanwhile, Schumer is in a conversation with McConnell. 2 minutes later, Schumer joins Graham's huddle, but senators are about to start voting and Graham goes to take his seat. Shortly after the vote starts, McConnell walks up to Graham and they start another conversation. It's 10:17 p.m. They are joined by Lama Alexander of Tennessee and speak for a little less than 3 minutes. Then Graham takes his seat again. For the next half hour, a group of senators from both parties forms at Graham's desk. At a certain point, as many as a dozen senators stand around him. Most are Democrats, but Republicans Susan Collins of Maine, Flake and Alexander are also here. At 10:47 p.m., the group splits, and 7 minutes later, Graham joins another group made of Republicans Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, John Hoeven of North Dakota, and John Bozeman of Arkansas. At 11:11, Graham steps aside and stops Schumer, who's walking by. They chat for roughly 30 seconds. Then Graham walks out of the camera frame. He's back in the frame 19 minutes later and strikes yet another conversation with McConnell. Flake soon joins them. McConnell leaves after 3 minutes. Now Graham is headed toward Democrats Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts and Chris Van Hollen of Maryland. And soon a number of Democratic senators gather around them. Republican Rob Portman of Ohio also joins the huddle at 11:40 p.m. A shutdown is 20 minutes away now. Graham's next stop is at McConnell's desk at 11:45, and then Schumer's desk at 11:50. At midnight, senators still have no deal in sight, and the government shuts down.